I saw that interview
That's
you
right.
had with RMD, where you talked about all of the hard work and consistency you've put into growing one of the leading Nigerian law firms. And, I'm just wondering, I'm just curious to know how easy that decision was for you to leave all of that behind and to, go into politics, so to speak.
No, it's probably the hardest decision of my life, probably the hardest. As you know, I was chair of Nigerian Breweries, chair of Sterling Bank, chair of Levin Oil, chair Global Mix, chair of about 3 or 4 other companies, at the board of Cardinal Stone for more oil. I was on the board of about 6 or 7 other companies. And I was part of probably the biggest law, or one of the biggest law firms in Africa, involved in significant transactions and deals. A few days after I stepped down from the office, we were closing one of the biggest oil and gas acquisitions in Africa, which I had to step off. We're also closing one of the other big manufacturing transactions, another acquisition transaction, which I also had to step off, And then there's the issue of the dislocation of family life, new friends and things, So it's probably the hardest decision, but I prayed about it. I spoke with my family about it. We took time to think about it, spoke to a few friends I respected, particularly some elders. And everybody at the end of the day, after the initial pushback that, what are you looking for? Yes, you've got a good life, you're comfortable, everything is going well for you. When people sat down to think about it, I think everybody gravitated towards where I started from, which is the ability to do a lot for a lot of people through public office, especially through elected public office as the governor of a state. And the state is really closer to the grassroots. And if you get it right at state level, and there's a lot of peer support and peer pressure, other states surrounding, other states in the country would also start pulling up, and that can help pull the country up.
All right.
So all those arguments convinced my immediate stakeholders, and they then supported me and gave me the go-ahead and prayed for me.
I hear you.
So, yes, a very, very difficult
I don't need to
decision,
ask how the transition is like, because you're already talking like a politician yourself. But we're running out of time. We have to go now.
The transition, let me answer that quickly. The transition has been really difficult. But in a way, going out to meet people every day, to meet moms and dads, and to meet poor and the rich, and to meet politicians and non-politicians has also been a great experience for me. An experience that, honestly, I wouldn't have given up for all the gold in the world. So yeah, it's been tough experience, tough transition, but I'm getting used to it.
We have to go now, but in just 1 minute, let's talk about the politics of who your running mate will be. I'm sure a lot of people have been submitting their names now. Is that a decision you have made? And perhaps you want to open up that to us on on TVC News.
Ironically, a lot of people haven't submitted their names, but frankly, that's truly a decision of the party and a decision of the elders of the party and the party. I guess we'll all sit down and we'll look at who is best suited in the circumstances of where we sit today, who's going to bring the greatest value, who's going to be a good complement and a good fit, somebody who has the same ethos and ethics, hard work, integrity.
But do you have a zone? Do you have a senatorial zone in mind? Do you have a zone in mind?
There are 2 other senatorial zones. There's the north and there's the south. So we look at the person that best fits the bill at the point in time. Definitely, the person's integrity level and work ethic must be fully top-notch. Transparency and ability to work in a team. It's important to learn to work in a team, and important to also be able to understand what issues of loyalty and integrity and conviviality are. For me, a team player is a must, and somebody whose ego levels at normal levels. So that's the key. I think, like I said, the party will sit down, we'll discuss all of that, and the party will make its recommendations.
All right. Hopefully we have more of these conversations before September. PDP candidate.
Definitely. If you invite me, and I look forward to
if you pick the call.
Of course I will. Of course I will.
PDP candidate in Edo State, Ighodalo. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful weekend.
You too.